We will be back in some form.
We have an army of digital soldiers, because this was an insurgency.
Hundreds dead, thousands infected across multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs. You are.
Hello and welcome to the Patriot Party News. I'm so happy to have everyone here. We'd love it if you feel like it. We'd love for you to share this out. That's how we organically get our information out. We've got two great guests today, like always. The team. I'm gonna go ahead and bring them in. We got the one and only Oathkeeper Bill and the one and only Edward Torres. So,
Hola, muchachos.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We had some pretty cool stuff come out today in Talk Time, I believe. We had some really cool stuff. There's a lot of great things coming out, and I hope. Sometimes I wish I could take what I'm feeling and just throw a big gob of it on somebody, and then say, "Oh, we're okay. We're going to go through some nastiness, but we're okay. You know, we're doing it. We're involved. We're working. We're maybe becoming closer to the Lord during this time, and I'm ready for it. How about y'all? What's going on with y'all? Anything big going on? And I'm gonna switch us over. I'm gonna put us on Facebook. So I might be. Y'all go ahead for a second.
Go ahead, Brother Eddie. We're doing good. There's a lot of news coming out. You know, people saying that nothing is happening. That is, I guess, their own opinion. But there's a lot of things that are happening, left and right. Things that we need to get prepared for and ready. And those are the steps that we need to be taking.
Amen.
You know,
amen.
I don't know about you, Bill, but that's the way I feel right now. Things like it's getting closer and everything is about to collapse on itself.
And Warren said it for several years now, especially in this. We cannot tell people what is going on. It has to be shown to them. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. The fifth generation warfare that was used against us our whole lives, as well as our even our grandfathers, you know, in essence of being bamboozled, and it just built and built and built, and we are to a level now where there's nothing that can stop what's coming, and people are starting to open their eyes to it. They being those who are into the CNNs or MSNBCs, and the only narrative that they know is what they've been given. And they're starting to see the breaking of the algorithms to where even those mainstream medias, they're going to kill themselves. And similar to what General Flynn said many years ago, the media has done a disservice to itself. And now they're literally proving it themselves versus being taken right out. Because if they were taken out, those that have been part of listening to them wouldn't be able to accept that. So they have to have that sense of, oh my gosh, what is this person saying? And when they leave the picture or they change the narrative, it'll be a lot more psychologically safer and less civil unrest. So contrary to like us that know what's going on, want to shake the heck out of these people, I do believe the technique that our special operators are using is the proper way.
We are in the process of unraveling a grand conspiracy. It's a hard thing to do. This has been going on for decades. It's a decades-long war on American sovereignty, on our republic. And we're fighting it all the best we can. And we're using what knowledge we have to discern what's going on, make up our minds, trust ourselves. But I tell you what, the deep state, whether it be their influence, whether it be the psychological warfare and their surveillance, they are able to get into your head. Many people are brainwashed and poisoned because they've been poisoned and brainwashed. So anybody that is in a weird place and doesn't quite understand what's going on, you're not alone. But use your discernment. Know that your opinion's valuable, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, we've all been in situations where we say, whoo, this is rough. And that's going to continue. But I assure you, when you see things like Fulton County and the FBI raids that bad boy, we knew it was going to happen. If you've been watching our show or been in, I guess, Talk Time, you know that you knew they were going to go to Maricopa next. You know, you can guess what other places are it's going to happen in. You know, swing states. What's going on? Where are those places? Nevada, Philadelphia, Wayne County, Milwaukee. A lot of things going on. A lot of places that are just going to go right down the line. And when that happens, it's time for the other team to fight back. And that's what we're going to see. I believe that there are planned things, planned operations by the other team that are in the works and that they will be bringing out against us. And we are strong enough. We are capable of getting through it. Be comfortable, in my opinion.
Just sit back and watch.
Yeah, it's definitely not a Republican Democrat situation. And a lot of people that listen, Billy, I don't get into politics. Well, it's much more than that. You know, if you go to a grocery store, if you go to purchase gasoline, if you go to try to educate yourself or have your children educated, you go to the hospital, that is what we're talking about. And it's much more than that, you know?
Yeah, it's coming to the point where, you know, if you're sitting on the fence and then all of a sudden you hear mainstream media doing a 180 in what they're reporting, that's going to cause a lot of people to start wobbling and saying, I was right, you know, of what I was feeling, of what I was seeing, you know. Then all of a sudden you have that transfer over or that movement over to people that are awakening to the whole situation that we are talking about. You know, it's going to happen one way or the other. You know,
I'm really grateful that Tom Homan came out and identified the close to 3,400 children that were found, and how our immigration and custom enforcement, ICE, were a part of that. People keep thinking that they're out to go collect illegal immigrants. It's not their main purpose. There's different task forces, and they're working side by side with the FBI. And I'm thinking the upper echelon of the operators letting out the Epstein information the way they did, in correlation with listening to Tom Homan identifying the children that have been saved, are going to start opening people's eyes. And the lower level Democrats that use young people in particular, college kids, what we call leftists, due to their programming, those children and young adults are going to start catching on, and they're going to say, why do I want to stop these federal agents? They're saving the children that we now are finding out were used for satanic actions. That is what is going to come, and the authenticity of what is there is going to overcome what the negative narrative is doing. I'm seeing it happen already.
Amen.
But that's been a problem that's been going on for many years, Bill. It's been going on for many years. Not only now in this situation now that we're doing this operation of collecting all the bad immigrants that have, a criminal record. But back when I was working, the agency failed to promote or to give the news, what was going on the ports of entry of how many, pounds of marijuana, cocaine, whatever was being found on a weekly basis, to let the people know that, you might be coming across and you might have a delay, but there's a reason why there's a delay. There's a reason why that person in that car across the lane was pulled out of the car, not because we want to mess with them, because they had something illegal on them, or they were illegal immigrants. And that's the problem that we're having right now, that people, the government is not advertising, and that's what technically it is, what the results on a weekly or daily or monthly basis to the population to show them. That's the problem right there. But you look at the other side, and they're very quick to point out a whole bunch of negative stuff about the positivity that the operation has. Is that a word, positivity?
Yeah.
We're supposed to know what you mean, maybe not what you say. You got it, and we're with you. If you want to know things that are going on, just look at what different people are bringing out. We had Peter Santilli on my show the other day, and a guy 619 days in pretrial incarceration, during which he learned about the source methods of domestic surveillance and things like that. After he went through those 619 days and said it was a blessing for what he's doing now, which is bringing out so much evidence about all of these perpetrators of the coup, of the votes, of trafficking of everything. And when he did that, he took it, and it ended up being in Florida. Now, there are some things that you can say on a show, and there's some things you can't say until somebody else says it, because it might not be your story to tell. Peter came on and told it. So I feel comfortable about people knowing that there are major indictments, 2 sets going on in Florida. They've been given to Pam Bondi and Cash Patel. Pam Bondi is in Florida. She's been in Florida, and there's a possibility we know why. At the same time, the DOJ is fixing to get a facelift. Whether they're going to add people to the DOJ or whether some people are going to go, we'll find out. There's so many people that have thought Pam Bondi is going to be bad, that Cash isn't doing his job. But remember, this is a psyop. And look strong when you're weak, and look weak when you're strong. It's a psyop. It is psychological warfare, unrestricted warfare. So when I hear those things, heard it a good bit ago, but again, it's not my story. But there's been talks of Pam being in Florida. All she does is stay in Florida. Why is that? Is that because that's where the information is? Is that, do we know that burn bags were found and Pete Santilli knew what information was in each burn bag that is labeled by number? These are big things that are going on, because being able to do this while they have a surveillance system over there that's been at Fort Washington for a long time, that they had a coup going, and while they are stealing everything, doing everything they're doing, it's amazing to know that they were communicating on child pornography chat rooms all day, every day. All right. They were doing that for covert communication while they were stealing votes, while they were targeting people that said MAGA, while they were blackmailing their own people. You know how they were blackmailing people? They tell everybody, hey, you've got to communicate on this child pornography platform. They get them into the platform. They don't necessarily know it's a child pornography platform. And then all of a sudden, if somebody gets out of line, wants to become a whistleblower, wants to go to the good side, they say, well, you do that. We've got you for being on a child pornography platform. We've got you. That's how these people think. These people are not interested in going to heaven. They've never thought about it. They want to get out of here without God's help. They want to get around God. They want to go dig up Gilgamesh. They want to blow up the firmament. This is how these people are reptilians. You can take that as really reptilians, or they act like freaking reptilians. I don't care. We will find out down the road. Just know that there have been covert channels where they have been fighting you and figuring out how to mess with your mind and blackmail you, blackmail their team. They don't care. This is running domestic terrorism everywhere they can, because as Edward told us, it's just like Mexico. It's just like all of these places where the president of that country, from, tell me if I'm wrong, Edward, from the 70s or 80s up, that each one has kind of been in charge of each one of the cartels. Just like Bush came in and he made his soldiers from another country. I don't know which one he did, but who made ISIS? We did. A president went over there and made ISIS for a time such as now. A president went over there and made Hezbollah for a time such as now. We know that. That's why when the information came out that Hezbollah was about 1% of what they were a year and a half ago, we said, yes, it's working. Juan told us that. Great. That ISIS is 3% of what they were a year and a half ago. Great. That's what we need. Now, Edward, I would love, today I came out on Talk Time that, and Marcy did too, and other people did, saying that the United States, Scheinbaum, or whatever her name is going to has agreed to the military coming in, the U.S. military coming into Mexico. Now, what I understand and what I've understood for a pretty good bit, or thought was going to happen, let's say that somebody was kind of chirping in my ear, that they're going to give about a 30-mile boundary so that the good people of Mexico can still trade and not be killed and stolen from, so they can eat and everything, and not go through what Cuba's going through, and maybe go through what Venezuela is going through, because we're not bombing everybody. Any thoughts on that?
It's somewhere between 20 to 30 miles buffer, what they call a buffer zone.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of sketchy because it's not on our side of the border. It's on the Mexican side of the border.
Yes, sir.
And if you go, if you from El Paso west, there's like Columbus, New Mexico. The border's right there. Columbus is on the north side, and what is the name of the? I can't remember the name now. But the Mexican town is right there, and there's no border. The same thing in Nogales. You know, it's right there, right? So how is that going to work? That's going to be very interesting because, you know, in the past they have found tunnels going from the Mexican side into the U.S. The same thing like here in El Paso, Nogales, California, and so on and so on and so on. So is that going to be how it's going to be controlled to identify who is the good guy and the bad guy? I don't know. You know, it's not going to be a 20-mile, 30-mile, whatever area that is open because there's towns that already been established on the border. You see what I'm saying?
With your knowledge and your where you've been and people you know, how long do you think that our military has already been over there? Do you think, I would assume they've been over there for a good bit. What's your thoughts on that?
Well,
Certainly,
I know for a fact
yes,
that back in 2000, I'm going to say 2009, 2010, they were already flying drones into Mexico because I would see them in the morning coming back. You know, you could see that dark, you know, odd looking aircraft coming in from across the border at sunrise, you know.
Yeah.
So they've been in there.
But recently it came up in different units. I think some pretty serious characters on our side went in and started establishing a perimeter. What are your thoughts?
I think they have, and they've been. I think they've been going in. Now you could say going in by person, or you could say going in electronically and doing surveillance that way. I know for a fact, well, not for a fact, but rumor has said that they've been down doing with the Predator drones down in Sinaloa, checking that part of, and that's on the Pacific side of Mexico. So all that activity right there is bringing, you know, collection of data, intel for where these people might be. You know, what are their movement like they did with Maduro. Okay, that's no different. Is there people in Mexico, U.S. military, probably, you know, elite? I would say like a 75% yes. This is my opinion. Could be higher, but in my opinion, they're already there doing on eyes on target type of surveillance, and it's I mean, I'm see how can I put this, because it's kind of Claudia Sheinbaum, who is the president of Mexico, is bowing down to the cartels. Okay, the party of the Moreno, she's bowing down to that. That's who got her in there, besides Maduro, that sent some money over there to help her for her campaign. That's the rumor. Now she's being pushed by the cartels, and you know, she's even made a public statement saying that it would be illegal to prosecute or go to war against the cartels. Now, and what? I don't know. I just leave it at that. You make your own mind on that one. But at the same time, she's getting pressure by the U.S. A lot of pressure being put by the U.S. to stop doing certain things, like, for example, sending oil to Cuba. You know, they were supposed to stop it, but they're still sending humanitarian help as far as food, water, not water, but food and stuff, they completely stopped the oil. And a matter of fact, today it was posted in our chat that one of the biggest oil refineries in El Havana went up in smoke. Now,
I
who
didn't
are
hear
they
that.
going to blame for that?
That's a trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are they going to blame for that? The U.S., even though they were the ones who did it? I don't know. I'm just speculation. Let's look at it logically. Who else? They're being surrounded by the United States all the way around, and they're sanctioned. So that's one. But Mexico is still sending stuff over there. So
All this is why I think Pete Chambers would be a great governor for Texas. He knows what he's talking about. Pete Chambers, everyone, and anyone in Texas, just take a look at Pete Chambers. Doc Pete. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead. I needed to get that out. One thing I wanted to ask.
No, you're absolutely correct. I thought I've heard him. You had him on the show, and I totally agree with him 100%. And I know where he's coming from, where he had to fight the political side of the military. You see, you have to remember that once you get to a certain rank, and I'm talking not only enlisted, but as an officer, it becomes political. So he technically went against the political branch, the political side of that, and he got waxed for it. He got taken out. I understand that perfectly. I know where he's coming from. So
we've got all this going on the southern border. Oh, sorry about that. I thought you were done. Go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that you don't want to play the politics that goes with those ranks up there. You're talking about lieutenant colonel, general, 1 star, 2 star. It's all politics when it keeps on going up with the stars and the clusters and the eagles on their shoulders.
Amen. A long time ago, we were all talking about the southern border, and I kept on saying, "What about the northern border?" Bill, I know that where you are located. That has a lot to do with where you are, and you've got a sheriff that you talk to on a regular basis. Has he said anything about that? What's his thoughts, or what's your thoughts on that, the northern border?
Well, luckily enough, our sheriff is not just a constitutional sheriff, but his oath means something, which he understands very well. And he has been really stepping into getting his own information. He spoke personally with Mr. Tom Homan, and he was on a podcast with Sheriff Lamb.
Yes, sir.
And
it was a great podcast, by the way.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. And he also talked about the increase of certain things from our Canadian border where we are, because a lot of our border, there is no fence. You could literally walk across into where we live, And he is obviously for the 287G, the assistance of any kind with ICE. His main thrust will be jail only, contact the feds prior to release of somebody. But when it comes down to it, and he's not alone, he's got a lot of wonderful patriots around him, me included,
and big names that he's talking to. So I love that.
He's listening to Miss Tulsi Gabbard, and Tulsi Gabbard, I mean, she already communicated about our national defense sharing a way to communicate from the lower level, county levels, to the national level, in a way to make things easier to address instead of having to go through this channel to that channel to that channel. So how awesome is that, And we do have a lot of people in our community that really have stepped up to say, Sheriff, thank you. And I'm so grateful our sheriff did that podcast, because we put it on our Facebooks, and I'm looking at hundreds of comments. Oh, thank you, Sheriff. Thank you. We're here for you. We're here for you. And obviously that's important. So we are no longer the minority, which is excellent, irregardless of what mainstream media identifies. Sometimes the little Johnnies are louder, if you will.
Yeah.
But just like school, you always get that little asshole, and the 30 other children are just wonderful. They just don't speak up as much, So you hear the little asshole, and soon that little asshole isn't going to have a place to talk anymore. You'll just like, oh, I guess nobody's smiling at me anymore. I don't know any other way to put it. Sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good. No matter what border you're on, no matter what country you're in, we're all in this kind of the same boat. Here in America, it's Americans versus globalists. It's not Democrat versus Republicans. It's not black versus white, man versus woman. It's none of that. Just like in Iran, it's Iranians versus globalist. Just like in Russia, it's Russians against globalists. This is not just you. Everyone is feeling this deep down in their loins, like something's coming. Oh my goodness, what's going on? What is happening? You're not alone if you're feeling these things, but man, there's always something to do. There are jobs, there are jobs to do and things that can help. I know that it was so neat. I feel like I've got a few jobs, one of my jobs is with the coalition. And my job is, I don't know what my job is, do a crazy podcast and bring on people that we believe are up to date on information. And that's good. So the way I got that job is I went and started meeting with them. Like me and Mandy went to one of them, went to Georgia on my own, but I went there, and Matt, my co-host, the whistleblower for Fast and Furious, I went there, and he needed to be talking to somebody while food was coming in. I went over there and I started bringing in food, drinks, setting up chairs. There is always something to do. There's a way to get involved. You can knit and give a sweater to somebody that needs it. You can call your sheriffs. I know I get on people's nerves probably saying, look into who your sheriff is, but you might, and many say, oh, mine's compromised. Well, you know what? This is a psyop. This is psychological warfare. And if the bad guys want you to think that your sheriff is compromised, he's compromised. He might not be. You've got to go and talk to him. You don't have to say the things that you think. You can go and just say, hey, there's some crime in my area. What are your thoughts here? And you get to know him. Look, know your sheriff. Please consider it. Please.
Can I piggyback off what you're saying right there, please?
Yes, sir.
How you just identify that, contact your sheriffs, and sometimes people tell you, no, don't do that, they're bad or whatnot. Even though even if you feel they're bad and there's proof that they're bad, still send the same email as if it was the best sheriff in the world. And how you input the information. I am one of your constituents. I want to say thank you for loving on the Constitution. However you want to write it. Say, I, like millions of other patriots, are waking to this horrible situation, however you want to put it. But don't do it in a way of asking questions, because you're not going to get a truthful answer if you really feel they're rude or whatever. But them reading that are going to be like, oh boy, people are starting to know. Same thing with your legislators. I send an email to the whole legislation board via the contact, where you can just type something, and I'll once a week, hey, I just want to let you know I'm still here. If you have any questions, there's a lot of things in our world that are very difficult to understand right now. I noticed that 11 of the 15 of you voted yes to 287G. As you know, that's a line in the sand.
Yeah.
The others, and I know they're getting the email also, right? The others that said no to it will, in essence, wake up or be voted out, or they will quit. That's the only thing left for them. And there was a lot more to it, but boom, send it out. Send it out. And the more of us that do that, because this is a great awakening. And I tell our sheriff appointments, our meetings, I'm not really there to teach anybody anything. We're building our own local coalition, if you will, because nothing's going to stop what's coming. If we are prepared for it, that's when our job really starts, is when the peripheral shit hits the fan. And I have a friend of mine that says, we can't tell people this stuff. They just won't listen. This is just too much. It's too much information. That's what we're doing. It's a slow rollout, because we have to deprogram people. And this Epstein file coming out the way it just did, and with the saving of all those children that Mr. Homan's identifying, ties in together with Pam Bondi going to Florida. And if anybody thinks that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel can really succeed in this, they cannot, due to the fact of all the corruption. We're going to require task forces that President Trump will have to establish. Now, if I may, the task forces such as retired Assistant Chief Sean Taylor, the 15 plus years of investigations into the NGO, the frauds, all the way down to the local levels. We have Patrick Burns and his team with Martine and prior CIA, who have found all the proof in respect to the machines that were used for fraudulent elections. We have the Epstein records, and it's all going to tie in together. And General Flynn has mentioned it many times. Mr. President, we're ready. Mr. President, we need task forces established. So there's enough information that is present for a lot of us Americans that are paying attention to know, wow, there is something coming. But you're not alone, and we're no longer the minority. I don't know if you got that meme I made with General Flynn holding the babies. That was a good one.
They might have sent it to me. I don't know, but I'll check.
I texted it to you. I don't know if I should have emailed.
Oh, you might have. Okay.
But do the memes. Meme everything. Meme everything. Alabama Allie and Lisa, they really have done such a wonderful job. And I'm noticing that a lot more people just catch the eye on these memes, and that really helps to break algorithms as well. So
they're so important. They're so important. Amen. They're so important. Edward, do you have anything on? We might be sending another carrier over there to close to where Iran is. Any thoughts on all that stuff? Do you have any information coming in about anything new coming up with that?
If we look at what the tactics of that whole thing is we're going to attack, and then Iran put out all their air defense, all their radars, all their comms and everything, and said, no, we're not going to do it. So you done caught them with their pants down, right?
Right.
Now sending another one, I think it's a matter of, this is my thing, is to stop Israel from doing something stupid. Oh, I said
Putting the
that
hammer
word.
down, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it just like blocking, like not letting them. There's enough forces to take you down. You only have 1/3 of my technology, and I could take you down with less than that. So stay on the ground and be quiet.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could see. It's already that's isn't it the fourth one already over there?
Something
Going
like
over there, or the
that.
third?
And we know
I think it's
from
the third one.
we know from what he's done, they're all strategic hits. It's not come in and let's take over. Trump is not like that. Trump is not like our previous administrations where they go over and cause a war for freaking nothing and go over there and just run through there killing every man, woman, and child that they can see. Now the men don't go ahead.
The worst thing about it, that every operation was telegraphed before it was done.
Yes.
So everybody knew around the world what you're going to do. They see the buildup and they see the operation going on. Now you could see a buildup, but that doesn't mean something is going to happen. It might be just a fake.
Amazing. And that's
So
a smart way to do it.
Yeah, you don't telegraph what you're going to do.
Yeah. Element of surprise. My father always told me,
Exactly.
element of surprise. Yep. You know it's going down. Go ahead. Go in as hard as you can and don't stop till somebody pulls you off.
Yep.
I'll do that.
That's what I do to my wife. I right on the button. Element of surprise.
It goes back to that sheriff. I can't remember his name. He was doing an interview because they had a confrontation with actually the suspect was shot, and he said they asked him, why did you guys shoot him so much? And his answer was, because we ran out of ammo.
Right. Why has he got that many bullets in him? We ran out of ammo. That's a trip.
So, there you go. You can't expend everything. And I don't think it's that Iran is to the point as Cuba. They're being choked by themselves, and the people from those countries are going to do something, and then that would be the point where, when that action is taken, is when the U.S. could go in and render aid.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And it's not a conflict, it's just helping.
Yep. Bill, earlier you were talking about it's going to take task forces, like on the thing in Florida and everything. It would be cool if there was a task force in Florida and all of that information was in Florida, was done and ready to be served up on a silver platter. That would be cool. We'll see what happens and how that all works out. It would be really cool if Pam Bondi has been there dealing with that herself. And then maybe, who knows, maybe some new help is coming in with a big change to the DOJ. We'll see what happens pretty soon, maybe.
But you have to remember one thing there, Warren. The biggest problem is the career bureaucrats.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem, because you got that assistant attorney general that fired Ed Martin, who had been appointed by the president, and this guy fires him.
Yeah, right? It'd be a really big trip if Ed Martin had been in there the whole time watching what was good, what was bad, who was doing what, who was doing this, and all of a sudden he was in charge of all of them. I don't know. That'd be a trip if something like that happened. That'd be cool.
But you see what I'm trying to say, and we talked about this before. The bureaucracy, which is the senior executive service, those are the bureaucrats. They think that they have more power than the president himself. And that's the problem.
Yes.
And you have to take those guys out one way or the other.
Yeah.
So that way the things can get cleaned out and start working the way they should.
Amen. Amen. It would really be cool if all that information in Florida was part of all those indictments, and two huge things were going on right now with all of that information that's going to take them down from Obama almost to the bottom. That'd be cool. And it'd be cool if that was going on in some other places, and that we had used, I talked about surveillance and how they had been watching what we'd been doing all the way back to Bundy, all the way back to all of those, let's see, Bundy, Oklahoma City bombing, all those things that they had been surveilling us. And then all of a sudden, if we had the bigger computer, or if we had that and we had everything on them, especially if something like, everybody knows kind of what McAfee did, I believe. McAfee, a long time ago, Hillary raided his house, shot his dog, and it made him mad. He said, "Hey, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. You know what? I'm sorry. I messed up." And out of the goodness of his heart, he went in and gave all of the secretaries in all of the White House and different places new computers. That would be cool. And then all of a sudden, somehow he had a back door into everything they had done forever. That would be cool if that has happened to maybe three more times after that. Maybe one just recently. I don't know. That'd be cool.
I remember that interview. He says to the lady, he goes, "Well, I didn't find anything on me, but boy, I know that the director of whoever sells drugs, whatever." Just let it out. And then the lady says, "Oh, hold on."
Pam Bondi learned some tricks like that, didn't she?
I loved it.
It's cool when the young ones learn tricks like that, like from McAfee. That'd be cool if Pam Bondi did that.
And I'd like to welcome everybody to America First. And I'd like to let everybody know this is not going to be an administration that fixes what is broken. It has taken we the people, literally patriots who have exhausted decades of their lives to get us to where we are today. It has taken millionaires exhausting their millions to help us. It has taken retired assistant chiefs literally almost losing their lives as well as their families' lives collecting data for 15 plus years. It has taken so much from people. And we, the people, have worked many years to get to the level we are today. It is not just information to, wow, that's interesting. Wow, that kind of makes sense what they're saying. What we are giving you literally is what our research and people in those levels that have done the grunt work, and we're able to do what we can to even journal. Not even if not one person was watching this podcast today, it is journaled. And whether you see it today or years to come, this is literally life changing. We have already won our republic back. You haven't seen it yet, but that's what we are doing. You don't see COVID-19 shots anymore. You still see me today and us. That means we were not put in FEMA camps like the agenda that these globalists had. You're able to see us today due to the special operators succeeding in the mission of America First. So, what might not seem to make sense today, that's okay. We're not going to give up. You're not going to give up. And I just wanted to say that. And God bless you guys. And it's good to see you guys.
Always good to see you, Edward. Great to
Same
see
here.
you. Thanks for joining. And I guess I'll see both of y'all in talk time here in a little bit, hopefully. And then after that, we'll see you next Friday, like we always do. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hasta luego.
Adios. Bye.
Adios.
Hey, thanks for joining. There is one thing that has happened over the years. When you get into what happened, how did this happen? What in the world? The consistent thing is there's a main thing that's in everything. If you say, how is it that Big Pharma became the biggest drug dealer in the world, in America? Well, elections were cheated, and a family or a bloodline was put up in office as back in the day, the previous people, as president, as vice president, and then cabinets, and their thoughts, their need was to make Big Pharma the biggest drug dealer because our government was winning when that was happening. It was going in their pockets. I'm sorry, that's what was going on. If you say, why do I hear so much about children being taken? That's the most terrible thing ever. Yes, that is terrible. And it was done because elections were stolen, and the right people made it to where they allowed that to happen because they were making money on it. They could not have done it without elections. When you say the taxes are freaking crazy, yes, taxes are freaking suck. 50%. If you take what all the taxes together, it's terrible. It's because the people were cheated out of their elections, and those people were elected to make those laws to put on you. That's the one thing, the one common denominator amongst everything bad that's going on, at least in the United States. Some people might say they don't mean anything. And you get to use your discretion and trust yourself on whether you think that or not. And who cares? Because I have an opinion and you have an opinion. They might not be the same. But we're going up that mountain. And I don't care if you go around and come in the back way, if I go straight up, or if I zigzag and go up the mountain or come around. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. It matters that we have the same goal and then we reach that goal. That's all that matters. Somebody can think that we're in trouble. If we're in trouble, then we got to work harder. If everything sucks, we got to work harder. We got to do something about it. If it's that, hey, we're in good shape, then we got to continue working harder. Because he gave the power back to the people. That's what's going on. There is a covert action going on behind the scenes. And some people might say, no, there's not. And some people might say that, yeah, there is. Well, we'll find out down the road. Who cares? We're going to the same goal. We have the same goal. We want the children taken care of. We love the Lord. We love each other. And we want to succeed. We want to live our lives. That's all there is to it. That is all there is to it. The systematic taking away of our sovereignty, our freedom, making people mad at absolutely everything. All that is the psychological warfare and the vaccine and the shot that they've put on people. They are trying to make you think something that is not true. They're trying to do that with me. They're trying to do that with you. We're all in the same boat, and we're all trying to figure it out. So you listen to certain people, you listen to people on the weekends, you listen to your friends, your family, what their opinions are. Cool. You get to do that. You are the one that ultimately makes the choice for you. I think the common denominator really, though, is God. And I think that if you focus on being the best person you can, being fit because of some things that I believe are coming, having food, loving the Lord, introducing other people to the Lord, helping them, not just introduce them and say bye, introduce them and help them and hold each other accountable. And maybe that's not the best thing to say, but be around them. Get back with your friends. Keep the home front right. We appreciate you coming and hanging out with us while we tell our truths the best we know to do. Come hang out with us at join.patriotshoot.com. That's where we hang out. We want your information. We want to get you information. We want to get you involved. Come to the chat, state chats. Listen to Chaz in the mornings. He chats every day on Patriot Shoot. It's a great platform. And come hang out with me at Talk Time. If anybody's trying to get into Talk Time and you have a different name, your name is spelled different on Telegram than it is in Patriot Shoot, you have to be a member of Patriot Shoot to be in Talk Time. But we're getting information. We know what's going on. We're comfortable. Have a great weekend. Love on your friends and family. Tell the Lord you love him. Pray about what's coming. And thanks for joining, and bye. Have a great one. Bye.